Hi, guys.
Howdy.
Hello.
We're back.
We are?
And better than ever.
And this is Filmmaking Sucks.
Or does it?
Or does it?
We love it anyway.
Does it? We do?
We do.
As long as we have the parentheses, we're good.
Okay. Parentheses. Parenthetical.
Yeah, it's kind of like how, in the mid-90s, there was when Lisa Loeb put Stay Out, there was 4 other stays, and they had to parenthesize every single song with a quote, Stay, I miss you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to just have parentheticals at all times.
Yeah. Hashtag parentheticals.
There you go. So this week, I think we want to talk about one of our top filmmaking lessons that we've learned over time.
I think it is the number one lesson.
I might be.
Yeah.
This might be the number one lesson. There's a lot of people out there who are just starting at this, and
or want to know how.
They want to know how to do it, and specifically, I have a friend. He wants to get into filmmaking. He's been film critiquing for quite some time now. And he's into our films. He likes our stuff, and he wants to start making his own movies. And he drives me a little crazy sometimes because he says to me things like, "Man, I'm going to make my movie, but I got to save up some money for it because." I need the best equipment. He literally said.
Are you sure you're not talking about me from 4 years ago?
I'm actually not. No, I'm not. He
I
actually said to me.
Sounded that same
no,
way.
you did. We all did.
We all did.
We all did. And that's exactly where I'm getting
Hard
to.
truth number one.
His words
Yes.
to me literally the day, and I told him he needs to listen to this show. He needs to listen to this show because we're going to be giving him, we're going to be talking to people like him and whomever else. His words to me the other day were literally, I want to use stuff like what David Cronenberg uses. He wants to shoot. Okay. Yes. All right. He told me a few months ago how, he's going to get together $500,000 for his first film. Oh. And I keep telling him, stop. That's all stop. You are wasting your time. You are wasting your money by thinking that way, by doing that, by constantly
overthinking.
Forget even overthinking. We're not even at that point yet. We're not even at the overthinking stage yet.
There's so many layers of what this is going to become.
Yes, exactly. The first step of self-sabotage is telling yourself and being convinced that you don't have the right equipment to make the movie you want to make.
Yeah.
That is the first bit of self-sabotage that we all go through.
And we've all done it.
We've all done it because you stand around for months, years, however long, saying to yourself, well, I know I need this and I need this and I can't do it. I can't do it because of this. All you're doing is making excuses.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
You're also
it's never going to be good enough.
It's exactly.
Never good enough.
It's never going to be good enough.
You're also feeding into the fears that when people tell you cannot do it. Mm-hmm. And you deep down, because in all honesty, doing this is... in my opinion, there's only two kinds of people on this planet. There's people who follow and people who do. And I've learned that from someone in this room, as well as in my own personal experiences. When you make that step, when you see subconsciously that you're a follower and you no longer want to be a follower and you want to be a doer, it's the scariest thing in the world. And you are going to lose friends. You're going to lose family. You're going to lose people you thought you could trust for no reason. Just because you decided to do something with yourself and do something in general.
They just don't. They do not understand.
Like I mentioned before on the first episode of this, I had a lot of family that said, "You're going to go nowhere. Why bother wasting your time?" But then when you realize, I don't care, I want to do this, that's the first thing. So the thing with the equipment, like we're on topic right now, that's the first set of excuses. you'll find more.
I need a better camera. I need better lights. I need a better this. I don't have that location. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have.
What I really need is this. What I really need is this.
My big thing was my quick little lesson about equipment is I worked on one of my first film sets, independent film sets, because I kind of was lucky enough to, the first film I ever worked on was actually a Hollywood production. But on top of that, the first independent production I was on, I saw the cameraman use this one camera, and I loved that camera. Yeah. I had to have that camera. Yep. Guess what I did not need? That camera. Guess what I spent an extra $1,000 on? That camera.
And what could you have gotten for that $1,000?
Now, what did we do? You got no. You're talking about the 5D,
yes?
Right? You got the 5D. It's a great camera.
Yeah, I still use it to this day.
You do. Yeah. It's a great camera, and I had the 60D, and I said, "Yep, you're upgraded from me." But there was something that you were in the store at the time, and I kept telling you, "Don't fucking do it. Don't do it. Don't do it." And it was the lens.
Not just the lens. I almost got the Mark. I have a.
You almost Canon, went a step farther.
I have a Canon 5D Mark II, which is the camera that I fell in love with on set. There was also the Canon 5D Mark III,
and I talked him out of the $2,000 extra for that camera
and lens.
And yes,
it was $2,000 extra. Both cameras were on sale because it was Christmas. They were roughly. The Mark II was $1,000 off its MSRP, and the Mark III was $1,500 off. But
it's $1,500 off. Still made it $4,000.
It would have been $38 and change for the Mark III and the lens that came with it. Even though technically it was a bundle.
What was it? The lens was what? The 1.2 was it?
No, it was the 16 by 35 millimeter zoom lens that came with it, which in and of itself is $1,500.
Yes. And I said you don't need it.
No, yeah. But I was fighting him. I was on the phone with him at the store the whole way.
I even fought with you about, you got the 1.4, the 50 millimeter 1.4.
Yeah,
I even fought with you about that.
Yes.
And I said you don't need it. It's the $300 lens versus the 1.8, which is
$50. It's about $50 now.
No, it's not. Well, that
it was $120.
That one is because there's a newer model out.
It was $125 roughly.
For $120, you get a 50 millimeter 1.8, which I have shot almost an entire movie with that one lens.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, okay, great, you're going to get more light, but you're already getting a better camera than I am. Your sensor's going to take in more light.
Yeah, I didn't understand that, and I just did it anyway.
And then what you did was, once you started shooting with that camera, you said, this looks gorgeous, but I can't rack focus because I don't know how to use lenses.
Yeah.
So now he had this super shallow lens that he couldn't focus on his subjects with. I went through the same thing when I first started. I started opening that iris all the way up and turning it out, and I was losing focus on everything because I didn't know how to do it yet. Okay?
It takes time to learn that.
My difference was I had a better idea of it because I had been working with the XHA1 before that, which has no depth of field whatsoever because it's like a TV production camera. So in order to get any sort of depth of field, I had to zoom the camera all the way in. So I actually got used to shooting at 120 millimeters. Yeah, so I was shooting people from 50 feet away just so I could zoom in on them and get some depth, get some focal.
Luckily for me, though, the 1.4, the depth on it is amazing.
It is incredible.
But I learned the hard way that
you can't shoot with it outdoors.
I can't shoot with it outdoors, A, and B, the pulling focus was terrible.
I remember him calling me specifically one day. He's sitting in a car. He's outdoors in the middle of the day, and he's like, all I see is white. I can't. If I close it, I have no depth. If I open it, I have no image. What do? I said, get a different lens.
I was like, I can't.
Plain and simple, you need to put on
I had that bad 75 300 one.
Yeah, I said, you got to shoot with the zoom. That's it.
The point of all this is, though, funny enough, is that, like, the anecdote we're talking about now is me saying I needed bigger and better because Manny had a Canon 60D, which is still a decent camera to this day. I mean, it's a little outdated with the way technology is jumping.
It's outdated. Yes. It's outdated.
But it's still a good starter camera. And for the audience listening, the whole point of this is to get your movie made, and a 60D is actually a good option No. It's an affordable option.
I put my movie out. We put our movie. We shot Blood Slaughter on a 60D, and I know other filmmakers who've used 60Ds. I know other filmmakers who use the 5D and the 7D. And those are the 5D and the 7D are way superior to the 60. Okay? And they've made their feature films with that, and they've still come to me and said, "How the hell did you get the 60 to look like that? I want my movies to look like that." And that comes in just experience and time and proper color correction and proper lighting. There is no magic formula to making your movies look good. Your camera is not a magic thing that you're not gonna wave a wand. It's not gonna define you. Exactly. You put
the biggest and the baddest.
Put a $5,000 camera in front of somebody, in front of the best cinematographer in the world, and he will come out with a better film than the absolute worst cinematographer in the world will come out with on a $400,000 camera.
Yeah.
Okay? A good DP and a good cameraman can work well with nothing. And that is proven in the fact that there are movies being shot on cell phones now. Cell phones.
Tangerine is one.
Okay? Tangerine is a perfect example of it. Tangerine has a little something else to it because
we won't get into that.
We won't get into that.
That's just one of the examples of a movie shot on a cell phone.
The movie was shot on a cell phone and it won Sundance. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, there's a little more to it, but the fact remains that don't focus on your equipment.
Don't focus on your equipment. And another thing I want to add.
Don't focus on the story either. I think that when your first one, you're not going to change the world.
All right, we're going to talk about the first. Okay. All right. Stick to first movie alone. You're right. You're absolutely right.
You're right.
Don't worry about making the best script you can. Don't worry about getting the best equipment you can or the best actors. No matter how much you put into it. And he's already rolling his eyes at me.
No,
because I've had this argument with him.
I'm going to add.
And I've had this argument with him about it. I've had this argument with him plenty of times. It's like your first movie is going to suck.
Okay, Rodriguez said it himself, and I'm going to quote it in his book because I think this is the most important thing that's ever stuck with me. In his book, which you have to read, Rebel Without a Crew, amazing book that you should all definitely read if you have any interest at all in this. But he says every director has at least 10 bad films in them.
Yes.
Make those 10 bad ones your first ones.
Also, for Robert Rodriguez, Spy Kids were not part of maybe the last one, but the first 3 were actually decent. Horrible movies.
He made them for $20 million and they pulled in 100 each.
Oh, I know. They were paycheck films for him, but he still wrote them.
But the point is, he did that so he had that carte blanche. Yeah. And then when he went to when they wanted Spy Kids 2, they wanted to give him $50 million and he said no. Okay. I'll do it for 20 again.
I'm sorry I brought up Rodriguez, but I think it's an important thing to realize is that your first movies, and I'm gonna plural are gonna be bad.
I'm gonna add to Lindsay's and Manny's point here. My first movie was supposed to be this ridiculous movie called Pandemonia. Lindsay edited the script and broke it down. We couldn't get it under like $40,000 or $50,000, and I did not have that.
There's no way you're getting $50,000 for your first.
So when you take inexperienced, doesn't know what they're doing, first time filmmaker. You brought the
script to me because you liked Blood Slaughter.
Yes.
And you wanted my advice on how to, you said, well, you did this and I like that. I like what you did and how you pulled it all together for what you did. Help me do that with Pandemonia. And I said,
there was no way we could.
My words to you were, I wouldn't make Pandemonia my 3rd or 4th film. It's too big.
Yeah. And
Blood Slaughter, and as we said, Blood Slaughter was 10 months of 19 locations and nearly 50 actors. Yeah. And Pandemonia was too big for me. I said no. I wouldn't possibly touch this. It's too big. Not that it's bad. It's too much.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, while I kind of disagree with Lindsay saying story doesn't matter, it kind of doesn't because that story to me matters, and it's like as Manny pointed out, it's too big. Yeah. It was way too big.
If you write a story that matters, do not make it your first movie.
Don't do it.
And Blood Slaughter, we loved it, but it didn't matter. It was a fun movie. it was a passion. Everything's a passion project. I'm sorry. We all make our movies at this level.
Yeah.
It's all a passion project.
It's
That's the only thing that keeps you going.
Yes. We all love what we do, you know?
Yeah.
But Blood Slaughter was fun.
Yeah.
It was a bunch of naked girls getting killed in the most classic ways of every slasher film we ever loved. We went out of our way to hit every single horror movie trope because it was fun. There's no underlying message to Blood Slaughter other than slasher movies are fun.
Yeah.
Maybe there is some there. I mean, I have some things that I put in it. The detective story has little bits to it and everything, but
every script is kind of personal at the beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It is.
Because I mean, like you said, it was 10 months of filming and another 10 months of editing and post production.
Yeah.
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 So,
So it was like that's what gets you through is the fact that you love it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you have to love it.
that's another warning is
It's hard.
try to keep your story not too insane, because I mean everybody, you can look up Pandemonia on Facebook.
Kiss, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's very big. I made the first things I directed were 2 trailers for the film that never came out. So, you know,
I mean, we did the same thing, honestly. I mean,
Our
the
first-
first thing we ever shot and the first thing we ever wanted to make
Yep.
and our first attempt to get a feature off the ground failed
The Circle.
miserably because it was huge.
The Circle was
yeah, I remember
my
you telling me the
first-
whole story.
Yeah, my first that we wanted to do was The Circle. We were bored one day. It was like the day before New Year's. It was literally December like 27th or 28th. And the 3 or 4 of us, with our friends, were sitting here in the living room, and we're like, let's go shoot something. All right, cool. So we picked up the camera, we went in the basement, we tied her down to a chair, and we came up with some weird effects we were going to do. We did it all handheld camera style, 4 killers basically torturing some poor girl, 3 killers torturing a poor girl. Okay. And we edited that down into a trailer.
Yeah.
Because it was an 8-minute thing we shot, and about a minute and a half of it was actually usable. Okay.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine edited it for me because I'd never done nonlinear editing before.
Well, I mean, we
You
shot
know?
that thing on a DV tape too.
We shot it on a mini DV, and I didn't have a way of connecting it to my computer, whatever.
Yeah.
So I brought it to my friend. He threw together a minute trailer out of it. Based on that minute trailer, I started writing a script. Okay? Now, this is why I said to you, it's too big, don't do it. Because I did exactly this, and I'm glad you didn't do. From that point forward, I wrote that script, and I took those same 4 friends. Okay? I quit my job. I cashed out my retirement fund, and I said, we're going to make this movie. And I spent the next 10 months paying my bills with that retirement fund. With $15,000 out of my retirement fund, I spent 10 months sitting on my ass doing nothing because the movie never got made, and I'm not even friends with them anymore. Because after a few
another
months...
lesson, don't quit your day job.
Yes.
After a few months of doing it, of trying to push and let's get this done. Guys, come on, let's do this. They were convinced that we wanted to make the movie. They were going to make the movie for free, and then we were going to take it and move off to Hollywood with our film and make $1 million, and they weren't going to see a cent. That is the dream. That is the
cough, that's how
delusional.
hilarious that
Yes,
was.
that is the delusion that everyone has when they start this, that they're going to make something and it's going to be huge.
Goes back to my followers and doers point too.
Yeah. You know, and because of that, we had a huge fight. I bailed the fucking guy out of jail with some of that money. And he had the gall when I asked him dude, I need the money back. I got to pay my rent. He came and he said to me, you know, all you care about is the money. You want to make this movie, and you're gonna go do. And I'm like, dude, I bailed you out of jail. I kept you from. Excuse me, I didn't bail him out. I kept him from going to jail.
Yeah.
Because some stupid thing happened with the record company.
Yeah,
Doesn't
yeah.
matter. I sent him $800 at the drop of a dime because he needed it in Florida. And when I needed the money back from my rent, all I got was grief. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't quit your day job,
Yeah.
basically.
You know?
People just automatically assume that, oh yeah,
You're gonna be famous.
I'm gonna make a movie, be famous, make $1 million. The last time, I'm gonna bring this up real quick because it's part of it. Go check out the movie The Battery. It's readily available. You could buy it for cheap. It's like $8 or $9 on DVD or Blu-ray, if that. You can see it on, I think it's still on Netflix. If not, it's on Amazon. I know it's on Amazon Prime. It's a zombie movie. And but the thing is, it's lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
It's a good narrative. The acting is superb. That movie won multiple film festivals, which we will cover in another episode. Yeah. Multiple big, huge film festivals, got screened all over the world. The guy didn't make a cent.
No.
The guy might have gotten noticed, but he's still making his own movies on his own dime, even with all of this critical acclaim. So you can hit the jackpot, so to speak, proverbially. That doesn't mean you're going to get paid. You know, so like you got to think this through. And as much as I'd like to say that the lessons we're telling you right now and the lessons we're going to continue to tell you throughout the rest of this episode, you're going to have to learn on your own, because you're going to hear our words and say, whatever. They don't know. I'm still going to get this big flashy camera. I'm still going to do this. I'm still going to do that. Hey, by all means, I'm not going to stop you. But
and that's where we're good. That's kind of the whole, this roundabout is getting to exactly that.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Do yourself
just
a
get
favor.
it done.
Don't be one of the same people that we all were. Yeah. That we're just not going to listen. Just listen to this, please. Just get it done.
Yeah.
Just get it done. You know, like we said about the circle, we just did it. We went down, like, let's just film something. That's how easy it is. That really, really is how easy it is. Just film something, anything. Film your dog, film your sister, film your friends.
Yeah, just get your project done.
Because you don't know how to do it.
Exactly.
You just don't. So the best camera or the best story, you're going to screw up your really good story, and it's going to be really sad. If you have an amazing story, you do not have the experience or the skill yet.
Or the resources.
To really pull that story off. Yeah. So do yourself a favor and just shoot anything first.
Just get it done. Just get anything done.
Anything.
Yeah. Like Pandemonia, I asked for Manny and Lindsay's help, and they gave it, and it still wasn't enough.
My friend who I was talking about, he has a Galaxy S7 Edge. Okay?
We all do.
We all do now. I specifically wanted us to get those phones because I know it is the best camera phone on the market. And if you're going to get a if you're going to get yourself a new phone, as filmmakers, I said, you know what? I need the best damn camera phone out there. For once, I'm going to go for top of the line. Yeah.
Even the just for the Apple heads out there, the iPhone 7 Plus is almost equivalent to the S7 Edge on specs, but the S7 Edge still has an edge, so to speak.
Yes, it is the best camera phone on the market.
Shoots
it is also
in Ultra HD.
It's also one of the best batteries in a cell phone on the market. This battery lasts forever.
Yeah, I lasted 2 days with heavy. You guys know how much I use my phone. I haven't barely touched it today, but I usually use my phone a lot.
Yeah. So he has one of them. And as I said, he keeps talking about how he needs better this, better that. And he told me, I just got this S7 Edge. And I said, wait a minute. You're talking to me about how you need a better camera and you got a 7 Edge in your pocket? Are you out of your mind? I said, what the hell is the matter with you, dude? You have literally the best camera phone on the market sitting in your pocket right now, and you're complaining you don't have you have a $700 4K camera in your pocket. Do you realize this?
It also shoots in slow motion, which is a plus.
It's 120 frames.
Yes.
Slow motion. And that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to get down on him because he's never done this. He's just trying to get into this. But that's exactly it. He didn't realize what he already had. The amazing camera that he's sitting there using for Facebook.
Using Facebook and Twitter.
Facebook and
Instagram.
Netflix. And, this incredible piece of equipment that's sitting in his pocket that he can make something beautiful with. He can really, and this pro mode is incredible. I love it. Yeah. This pro mode on it is great. I said to him, what's sitting in your pocket right now is a better camera than I shoot my movies with. Do you realize that? The only thing you're missing is the interchangeable lens. But you're shooting in 4K. You get that. I can't remember the name of the program. It's an $8 program that'll boost your It'll give you like, I think it's something like a 60 megs a second frame file size. You know what I mean?
Also shoots in 24 now.
Shoots in 24. I said it gives you full control over everything. It utilizes utilizes the power of the sensor, and you do some amazing things. And after finally going to color correction, into real color correction with the new movie, I see the difference between the file sizes and file this and every, and what it really does, what we've been doing, how wrong we've been, and the things that we've been working towards. I finally saw it, which is really something I want to do in this podcast, is really cover the mistakes we've made.
That's another thing. I said before, I'm gonna after reflection, I said I think story does matter. It's not really, you're right. It's not really so much the story. It's have the idea, have the passion, have the drive.
Yes.
Don't be it goes back to the follower and doer thing. You want to be a doer, so just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, with the camera phones, a thing that is going to be big on this podcast is we've talked already about how in the past, filmmaking was nowhere near as easy as it is now. It's still hard, and you're always going to be a student. And
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I was going to say something, but we're literally going to talk about that in another show.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
You're always a student. You're always learning. Like Manny just pointed out, we were all wrong about something. Just on this last film he's completed, he learned so many more new things about color correction and file sizes. You always learn. And as technology becomes our friend, you can become a doer. Just do it. Just get your idea. Get an idea on film or on digital media and put it out. Yeah. And that's really all I have to say.
Something people have said plenty of times, and I didn't understand it until I got there. That whole "you don't know what you don't know." It sounds like the most ridiculous thing
and redundant, but it makes sense.
But it's so not redundant. It's not redundant. It's actually exactly what it means. You don't know what it is you don't know. Again with my buddy, he didn't know that the camera in his pocket was as good as it was. He didn't know that he didn't even know that he didn't know. You understand? You know what I'm saying? He didn't know what
that would
this
be a double
camera
positive.
is. Yes.
Instead of
he doesn't
negative.
understand. He didn't get what this camera was and how good those specs truly are in comparison to other films out there, to other cameras out there. He didn't actually understand it. He didn't get it. And I look at it like, that's because you don't know what you don't know. There's so much information out there, you don't even realize that level of information exists. You haven't even gotten to the point to see the next step. It's like when you're climbing a mountain. All right. And it gets higher and higher and higher. You think you get to the summit, and then you realize, oh my God, there's another summit past that. You couldn't see it before you got to the first summit. You didn't know that there was another one. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying. That's what that really means.
And to actually add
there's
to that point,
more to it that you don't even realize exists. You don't even know that there's another level to it because you haven't even scratched the surface on this level. There's so much more even beyond that. When someone says you don't know what you don't know, it's another way of saying, to me, it's a way of saying you're trying to run before you can crawl.
That's actually what I was about to say real quick, and then we can have Lindsay finish off. I was discussing filmmaking with friends that don't make films or movies, and I told them about what I'm doing now, and they're like, that doesn't make sense. So I'm like, well, it will when I'm done, or it will to me, because my film's convoluted, obviously. So I'm telling them the process of...
Keep it simple, stupid.
Tell them the process of casting, and then they say, yeah, well, I could see how much hard work it is now because they are starting to put a comedy thing together. And so I say, yeah, everybody, including me, including everybody I know that started this, we all, on the ground level, we see the top of the mountain, and we're like, oh, hey, that's right there.
Yeah.
But then you don't realize there's mountain in front of you. There's a whole mountain in front of you that you have to climb to get to that summit. So it's always a constant learning process. You're going to trip over your own feet. You're going to tell people they don't know what they're doing when they do know what they're doing, or have a good inkling. You know, you got to learn on your own, but overall, just get that idea. Don't give up. We're all going to have second guesses and doubts, and you're going to want to give up once you realize how incredibly hard it is, or when things don't go your way, which it's going to happen a lot.
It's a lot. It's
a lot. Things are not going to work out, so just keep at it and just get that idea out there.
And the thing I think I really want to just highlight is you have no idea how valuable your mistakes are. You have no idea how many times you're going to almost trip into the same mistake you've made 100 times over, and you're going to notice it, and you're going to be able to see it, and you're going to remember what you did wrong. You're building a mountain. Forget climbing the mountain. You're building the mountain. You can't climb a mountain until you've fallen down a couple of times.
Oh yeah.
You know, you're going to fall down, but those falls, you learn how to catch yourself. You learn how to actually climb from there. And I can't even tell you how many times. I mean, we work on a number of different sets, and that is even more valuable too, because we've seen other people's mistakes. We've helped other people fix their mistakes. And
there's nothing that drives me crazier than watching somebody make the same mistake that I already made. And I'm trying to tell them, just trust me, just trust me.
You give them the one maybe, and then you're like, okay.
But the truth is, they have to learn it on their own. It's frustrating as hell watching somebody else screw up in the same way that you did, even though you told them, and you just want to look at them and I told you so. But
that happens so much more, though.
Yeah,
I mean, it's really hard I've noticed in life it's really hard for people to actually follow advice until they've fallen on their face.
Yeah, you have to learn it on your own. There's just somebody just telling you something doesn't stick.
Nope.
Until you have that experience of truly falling on your face, and then knowing that they're looking at you saying, I told you so. That compounding on top of it is what keeps you from doing it
You learn
again.
that lesson faster that way.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I did it in front of you guys for the audience to hear that, you get up. See, the thing is, we're not laughing at you. We're laughing with you, and we're offering our hands.
Welcome to the club. That's literally what we're saying.
Yeah, because like I said, you're going to want to give up. You're going to say, this is terrible. What did I do? You know what you did? You made a movie. Mm-hmm. Or you made a short film, or you made an art project.
Or a web series, or whatever.
No matter how bad you think it is, no matter how bad it actually might be.
It's done.
It's done, and you've done it. Mm-hmm. And like I said, we're here.
And that's step one.
Yeah, that's step one. That's the most important lesson we can
Step one, just get it done. Don't
get it done.
Stop worrying about what your equipment. Don't think about your equipment. Don't even think about your script. Don't think about your good actors or your good locations. Forget it. Get something done, because without the experience of what it's like to finish a project, you're never going to move forward.
No.
If you keep making excuses as to why you can't, you're never going to.
You're just going to be a follower.
Yeah. Just do it. See, and I don't even like the term follower. It's plain and simple.
That's the way I think.
That's the way you think of it. That's fine. Me. To me, it's talkers and doers.
Almost the same thing.
Exactly.
Little different.
But to me, it's talkers and doers. There's a lot of people who talk about what they're going to do. They're gonna. And I've told you this before.
I've been in that boat.
If you constantly live it's about your the tenses. If you constantly talk about what you're going to do, then you're always going to do it, and you're never doing it.
Yeah.
You're always living for the future rather than in the present.
There's a reason why there's 1,000 different statements about this. The journey starts with the first step. I could think of 1,000 others, not right now, of course, because I need to. But But that's why there are so many sayings about this, because you just have to do it. You're never going to finish until you actually begin.
Get out of your own way and do it.
I have a thing I do now, and I'm actually going end of the month when Spies is fully edited. I'm going to get a tattoo every time I finish a project.
Okay.
And that's just my little thing. I've always wanted to get, you guys are covered in ink. I've always wanted to get the tattoos I wanted to get. So
We have brain people tattoos.
We do.
yeah,
We
I
have
made
brain people
I made a
tattoos.
pact to myself. I gave myself a mini personal deadline but no time limit per se, just a
Yeah.
deadline. I'm not going to get my tattoo until this is done.
Okay.
So I do it. I have it picked out. I have everything ready. I'm excited, but I need to finish
Earn
the
it.
sound for
You gotta earn it.
Spies,
gotta earn
and
it.
there we go. And then it's done, and then I get my tattoo, and that's my little reward, and then everybody
go.
can see the finished product.
Give yourself something to work toward.
Yeah.
That's it. Give yourself something to work toward.
If you want this, if you want to make that pandemonia or that big script, the circle, or whatever your big idea is, and you know you just can't right now, don't say I can't. Like Manny said,
Not
live in
yet.
the present.
Say not yet.
You're walking towards it. It's a big step that you need to get to, as opposed to, like Lindsay said, it's building that mountain. Maybe that big idea is your summit or your first summit. Just get there, do your projects, do your little projects, do your first thing, do your second thing, do your third thing, fourth, fifth. It might even be like the seventh or eighth by the time you get to that big summit, that big first peak.
Yep.
Just get it done. And if you're going to listen to anything we said at all, because like we mentioned, we know you're not going to. We know you're going to do the mistakes. We know you're going to buy that expensive camera.
And that's fine.
And that's
fine.
okay,
That's
because
fine.
all three of us have done that.
it.
Just listen to us on this one simple fact. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just
Just
do
get
it.
it done.
And there you go.
Get up right now. You want to make a movie? Get up right now. Grab your cell phone and go out in the yard with a friend of yours and just shoot something.
Who cares if it
Shoot
sucks?
anything.
You'll get
Anything.
500 views on YouTube and a lot of...
You don't even have to put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just do it. Don't even put it on YouTube.
You could edit it on your phone now.
You can be you can be as embarrassed of it as you want to be. Just get it done so that you can say to yourself, I made something and I am becoming a filmmaker. I want to be a filmmaker. I just made my first movie.
I am a filmmaker.
You know, yes. So you can say exactly. So not I'm going to be a filmmaker. I am a filmmaker. I made a
And
movie.
next time, I'm going to.
Yes.
So,
And you will learn from your mistakes because you cannot learn from your mistakes if you don't give yourself an opportunity to make them.
Yep.
yes. Make plenty.
Yes, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. So, for filmmaking sucks, I think we're done for this
I
week. We're
think
going to
we're
wrap that up.
done.
We're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
For filmmaking sucks, this is Manny.
And Lindsay.
And Mario/Dreams.
You're going to have to stop doing that. Yeah. So, follow us on iTunes and subscribe to us. Give us a nice thumbs up or whatever they do. We're going to be on. You can download us on massgravepictures.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes. We should be on Stitcher soon. They're kind of hard to get onto. Stitcher's a bit of a pain in the ass, but
Yes.
iTunes, we are definitely on there. Subscribe to us there, and if you are already, give us a rating and a review. We'd love to hear from you.
And you know what? Send us your first.
Send us your first film. I'll make Mario sit through it because he likes to
I
review
watch
things.
anything. So
Mario will watch it.
I will watch it.
Hashtag
If you
show us
ask
your
me-
first.
Yeah, show us your first. There you go. There's a good hashtag.
Hashtag show me your first.
Yeah.
Show
I
us
will
your
watch
first.
it and I will tell you what I think. And then you can watch my horrible trailers and tell me they're horrible. So there you go.
We are far from experts.
We'll show
Yes.
you yours if you wait. We'll show you ours if you show us yours.
Hashtag show
There
us
you
your
go.
first. And we will see you next time.
Take it easy.